Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you tonight for this next review for Lord of the Rings of Power, Season 2, Episode 1 review that I got a chance to watch for myself, see what I was going to think of this episode overall. So I'm going to discuss what I watched for the Season 2 premiere for Episode 1. Let you know my thoughts on this episode overall. So let's dive into this episode review. Now, basically, with this episode, it's explaining the past of the Second Age at first, how Sauron came to be, and pretty much he took one form and now he's taken another form of the King of the Southlands. And he does end up on that ship where broken piece ship or whatever, or debris ship where Galadriel runs into him in the sea, and then he kind of hides his true identity. And basically, with this episode, I was very entertained with it. It's pretty good. I have a few critiques overall, but still a strong episode for what it turned out to be. Execution-wise, I think with this one, there were some moments where I felt that Elrond was kind of saying, oh, well, the rings are bad and all that, and they hold great power, but at what cost? So Sauron is hiding his true identity for a while, until he then reveals who he really is later on. So basically, this episode, excuse me, I gotta pause the video for a second. Sorry about that, I had to pause the video, this cat wanted out of my room. So basically with this episode, it's pretty much explaining the past first before it goes to the present time and the current time after Galadriel gets betrayed by Sauron after Season 1's finale, where Sauron reveals himself, and he's not Halbrand, he's actually Sauron. And then it turns out the rings come to be, and they forge new rings for the dwarves, and the race of men too, as well. So basically, Elrond kind of keeps the rings away from Galadriel and the King Elf guy, or whatever, of Lindon. I can't remember his name, but basically, Adar is kind of the ruler of Mordor for now, until basically, Adar, I guess, becomes dethroned eventually. I don't know. We'll just wait and see what happens at the end of Season 2, but I think there's going to be like 8 episodes or something like that. But I was very interested to see what I was going to think of this episode overall. It's a pretty strong episode. I have a few critiques, like I said. It wasn't one of my favorite episodes, but it was a pretty good one from what I watched. And from what I watched, it's entertaining enough to be enjoyable of a watch. So if I were to give this episode its deserved score, I'm going to give it a strong 8.5 out of 10. It's a pretty good episode in my opinion. I know a lot of people are saying this show is kind of horrible, and some people are kind of having big opinions about it and saying it's crap and all that. It's not really that terrible when you think about it. Like, if you follow the story, it's actually a pretty strong season for sure. So with what I watched, it's enjoyable enough for a watch. The storytelling of this show, and also Nori and the wizard and all that are going on their own adventure to Rhûn, and like, it's basically characterizing where these characters are going in the show and how they get to this point and what happens during the show. So basically, this was about the rings, this episode, and the next one and the next will be getting to a climatic stage of war, basically. So, with what I've seen, it's enjoyable enough for a watch. An 8.5 out of 10 for season 2, episode 1 for Lord of the Rings of Power. And with that being said, thank you for watching this TV show review tonight. Have a good night.